Friends, I welcome you to my channel. Before listening to this story, I will ask you to like and subscribe. It is not difficult for you, but it is pleasant for me. And we're starting. All the characters in the story who enter into intimate relationships are over 18 years old. It was getting harder to work for Sam Galt. He was demanding, critical, and stingy as hell. I was a good mechanic, he knew that, but that didn't stop him from giving me trouble at every opportunity. Nothing personal. He was shitting on everyone who worked for him. I started working for Sam right after school. He studied to be an auto mechanic at a technical college. I was good at cars and I enjoyed it. Sam hired me, realizing that my salary would increase as my experience and abilities grew. It was our agreement, but not the reality. I worked for him for 4 years and managed to get only 2 small promotions. It's easier to squeeze blood out of a stone than to get money out of Sam Galt. Everyone knew that he could afford to pay us more. He had a huge house that he bought for a song at a sale. He sold more cars than anyone else in the area. I heard when I was consuming fermented grape juice with someone that Sam has a big boat on which he likes to sail to the Finger Lakes from time to time. It just seemed that if a person could afford all this, then he could pay his workers at least a living wage. Then, Rachel Galt. When I started working, Rachel Brown was still working as a secretary in the spare parts department. She was 5 or 6 years older than me and built like a fucking brick house. In the sense that every brick was in place. She was single, but she had never dated any of the guys at work. She made it clear that she needed a man of substance, as she called it. She needed a rich husband. Gradually, she attracted Sam Galt's attention. And soon Sam's first wife was sent packing, and Rachel was firmly established in the big house on the hill. There were rumors that Sam forced his first wife to sign a prenuptial agreement before they got married. Well, like most prenuptial agreements. And, as a result, she wandered off with a clothes bag on her back and a kick in the ass personally from Sam. This put Rachel in an interesting position. She proved to everyone that Sam was an unfaithful, ruthless, heartless jerk. On the way up, it worked in her favor. As soon as she became Sam's main girlfriend, she herself constantly had to look around, fearing that now she could make this long way down the driveway with a small suitcase and something else on the path. Perhaps this precarious existence has made her tough. Or maybe she was just naturally unhappy. I don't know. I just know that she took a more than active interest in the business and only made Sam seem generous. The job turned into a living hell. We were all surprised when Rachel walked into the salon after a long Memorial Day with an engagement ring on her finger. Somehow she got Sam to marry her. Of course, marrying Sam was no guarantee that she would stay married to him or even gain access to his considerable wealth. There were rumors around the store that Rachel had agreed to a prenuptial agreement, almost the same as Sam's first wife. Gradually, it became clear that Rachel had a plan to avoid the fate of her predecessor. She made it a point to control any cash that circulated in the building. She took control of the vending machines. She funneled cash, which clients used for transactions such as transfer of ownership and registration, into her pocket. She used the company's receipts to pay for her expenses. It didn't seem like a lot of money, but within a year it amounted to a substantial amount. Most of them knew what she was doing, but it didn't matter to us. This bitch was stealing money from her asshole husband. They deserved each other. It didn't concern us at all. Then my uncle died and left me 8 acres of vacant land. When he bought it, it was inexpensive, but the city, growing, covered his entire property in a ring. Shopping malls and construction supermarkets were visible on all sides. As soon as it turned out that I was the new owner, the sharks started circling. I have never understood the pressure that big business can put on a person. Representatives of the Olive Garden and Taco Bell stopped by to make me an offer while I was working with their car. With each new offer, the figure on the future receipt grew. It was quite obvious that I would be very rich if I decided to sell the land. That's when Sam Galt decided to join the fight. Why should some idiot have something so valuable when a successful man like Sam can replenish his coffers with it? That's how it all started. I wasn't another Warren Buffett, but I knew I was sitting on a gold mine. And I knew that any deal Sam was involved in would involve me getting fucked. Maybe it was this realization that made my mind form a little conspiracy to get back at Sam for all the shit he's piled on me over the years. And if I can knock Rachel down too, so much the better. Sam, I got an email from the son of some finance minister in Nigeria. I began to whine one afternoon as I was working on the gearbox, and Sam was standing over me. If I can get $10,000 into my bank account as a sign of goodwill, then these guys will deposit $24 million into my account within a week. They are being chased by rebels who want to take over the minister's fortune. If I let the minister's son use my account, they'll let me keep $10 million for my humble efforts. That sounds like an interesting offer, Sam admitted. Do you have $10,000 in your account? Damn it, Sam. You know what I'm doing here. There's no way in the world I could have saved up that much money, I confessed. I'm just lucky that the son of this finance minister somehow found out that I'm a reliable, trustworthy guy. I don't even know who told them about me, but they said I was exactly what they were looking for. I think so too, Dave, Sam agreed. I can see that. Thanks, Sam. The praise from a successful person like you makes me feel much better. That brings me to my problem, I explained. If I could just borrow the money for a couple of weeks, I could pay it back with interest as soon as I get my $10 million. I understand you, Dave. I would love to help, but I have to protect myself. You understand that, don't you? Just in case you leave me your property on Commercial Avenue as collateral, I'll be happy to lend you the money. Gee, Sam, this 8-acre plot should be worth a lot more, I stammered. I'm not saying it's not true, Dave. For me, it's just an insurance policy that you will return my money to me. As soon as you get your $10 million, you can pay me back and become a freeholder again. It took some arguments and concessions, but in the end we agreed on a deal. Sam was going to lend me $10,000 without interest for a week. After that, I will have to pay him 15% interest per annum, accrued daily, until I repay my debt. If he is not paid in full within 3 months, the property will pass to him. As Sam explained to me, once I get my $10 million, I can easily pay him off, and we'll both get ahead in the race. It was a win-win situation. The next day, Thursday, Sam took me to his office and showed me some legal documents. I quickly looked through them and decided that they reflected the agreement we had reached the day before. I signed the papers, Sam's secretary notarized them, and Sam handed me a cash receipt for $10,000. I've never understood how easy it is to make money if you have money. I told Sam that I would take the day off the next day to do banking. I wanted everything to be in place so that I wouldn't miss out on the windfall I was about to make. It didn't escape my attention that Sam had done all the manipulations while Rachel was out of the office. In less than a couple of minutes, Sam sent for me to sign all the papers. The next day was Friday, and Rachel was always out on Friday mornings. At the end of the working week, the store was open until 8, so she never came on a Friday before noon. She wanted to be there when there were more customers and their cash. On Friday morning, I watched Sam's SUV pull out of its long driveway and head toward the office. As soon as he was out of sight, I drove up to his house. There was a large circular path in front of the house, skirting some statues. I parked the car and rang the doorbell. Finally, Rachel opened it and looked at me. When her nose wrinkled, at first I thought I must have stepped in dog shit. Then I realized that this was just her way of greeting an inferior being. What are you doing here, Dave? Sam's already gone, and you're going to be late for work. You better move your ass. You'll be punished for being late anyway, she said kindly. I knew I didn't have much time, otherwise Rachel would slam the door in my face. I pulled an envelope with $10,000 out of my jacket pocket and waved it in front of her. I have $10,000 here, Rachel, and I wanted to discuss with you how I want to spend it, I replied timidly. Rachel's nose smoothed out, and her smile stretched, showing her perfect teeth. Oh, how suddenly the stench of dog shit has disappeared somewhere. Come in, David. Rachel purred. I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. You know, I always have time for the little people who make our business successful. I followed her into a huge room. I guessed it was either a den or a library. I had never been in a house where there was only a kitchen, living room, and dining room downstairs, so I didn't know what to call it. Where did you get this money? Do you have any ideas what you would like to buy with them? Rachel asked sweetly. It doesn't matter where I got the money from, Rachel. What I want to buy is your ass for an hour or two, I said calmly. I beg your pardon? Did I hear that right? What is it? She demanded. Why are you talking to me like that? I can arrest you. Maybe I underestimated you, Rachel. And if I did, then I'm sorry. It's just that I've been in love with you since the first time I saw you. And I was ready to give you $10,000 to make love to me for a couple of hours, I continued. I'm sorry again. I turned and started for the front door. Dave, wait, Rachel shouted. This is so unexpected. I had no idea that you felt this way about me. Do you have all $10,000 with you? Right here in my pocket, Rachel, I replied. Are you considering my offer? I've always thought you were a good-looking guy and I'd like to help you make your dreams come true, David, Rachel cooed. I think we could figure something out. I'll be ready to make love to you in a normal missionary position if you put on a condom. I turned around again and headed for the door. And again Rachel called me. I smiled to myself and turned to face her. Rachel, my fantasy is to use you in any way, and I will not use condoms. As I spoke, I picked up the cash and began fingering a stack of $100 bills. Rachel almost got high watching me. Okay, David, whatever you want. You just have to leave before 11. Sam comes home at noon on Fridays to have a quick lunch and take me to work, Rachel said. Rachel, you're going to be mine until Sam turns the doorknob. You can hurry up and get yourself cleaned up while I chat with Sam about our business at the store. I will also need a receipt confirming that I have paid you in full. I could deduct these expenses from my taxes, I suggested. Bullshit. Nothing will be fixed in writing. I'm not stupid enough to give you a chance to blackmail me, Rachel replied very firmly. Pay me in advance, and you can stay until Sam gets here. You're a good negotiator, Rachel, I admitted. But I know it's better not to give you the money before I get mine. We'll put the money in the drawer while we're doing my fantasies. As soon as Sam arrives, and you fulfill your obligations, the money will be yours. Agreed, Rachel replied after a moment's hesitation. I opened the drawer, dropped the envelope in, and slid the lid shut. At first, Rachel was a little tense and didn't react in any way. But then when we made love, she was thrilled. We were both catching our breath when we heard Sam's SUV pull up in front of the door. Get off me, Rachel insisted. Sam's going to walk through that door any second. He can't see me like this. I slowly started to get off Rachel. By the time she was able to get up, we heard the door open. She quickly ran out of the room while I was pulling on jeans and a shirt. I was sitting on the leather couch I just rammed Rachel on when Sam came into the room. What the hell are you doing here, Dave? I thought you'd be at the bank today. I found out that the minister's son won't be able to transfer the money until next week, Sam. I decided to pay you today, and if you don't refuse, I'll borrow the money again next week. That way, I won't burn my zero-interest grace period, I reasoned. Sam thought for a moment, and then forced a smile. He still saw a chance to get his victim. He nodded in agreement. Rachel put the money in this drawer, Sam. Come on, count it, I suggested. And I want you to sign this statement that I have paid you in full. Has Rachel seen the money? In the future, I want you to always deal directly with me, Dave. Do you understand me? Of course, Sam. No problem, I agreed. I have to go soon, so why don't you count the money and sign this piece of paper, Sam? 5 minutes later, I was walking out the door when I heard Rachel calling me from the stairs. I went straight to the developer my lawyer recommended. He has signed an agreement with 3 different companies, according to which my land will be divided into 3 plots. I will have to receive a substantial amount upfront, plus a large monthly payment over the 25-year lease term from each company. One of them is a Toyota dealership. I quit the same day.